Greetings, unsettled souls. Welcome to the Media Speaks Saturday edition. We've got a huge show for you today. We're going to get into a lot of Ebola topics and a lot of other things. But real quick, I want to launch off with all the people that are joining with me today. Kyle, tell them who you are.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kyle from Media Speaks. Glad to be on the show today, Sam. I'm excited. I'm sure you're going to get into we might have a guest today. We're not sure.
Very much so. We also have a constant injustice. Say hello to everyone. Anthony Court is in. And last but not least,
injustice.
Is that Court? Doesn't look like him.
He looks older.
That's what trucking will do to you guys.
Is he there? Is he hearing us? There he is. And last but not least, David Lake, the man, the myth, the legend. Say hello, David.
I wasn't fully prepared.
Thank you, Sam. Glad to be part of the show.
Speaking of not fully prepared, we're still waiting to be joined by our guest. Perhaps it is a time zone issue, but we are supposed to be hearing from Mrs. Sawyer from Concerned Africans Against Ebola. You can find it on Facebook under that name, Health, Medical, and Pharmaceuticals. Her husband passed away on the way from Africa coming to the United States. And it's interesting. One of the things I was looking forward to hearing, guys, was you hear a lot of talk about what someone's rights are versus the rights of everybody else to have them quarantined. And I was very much looking forward to her opinion on that, considering that if her husband had gotten here, things could have been very bad for her and her family. But at the same time, again, like we all know, he has rights too, and that's a really gray area, and that's not one that I might have the name The Correct Views, which many people know is a play on words anyway. But just to be perfectly clear, I really don't know what my stance is on that. What do you guys think?
Should we clear up what the situation is with her husband and what happened and?
Yeah, he died of Ebola on the way to the United States. I don't think he was on the plane that was coming here. I think he was on one of the layover flights, I believe. And he was coming here for his daughter's birthday party, which was to take place this month, I believe.
Yeah,
and he knew that he had Ebola.
My understanding, he was quarantined at the airport, and Kyle, her husband managed to contract the Ebola from his sister, her sister-in-law. Is that your understanding too? No?
That's yes.
Yeah, he stayed there to help her, and while caring for her, contracted it. My understanding is that he knew he was contracted it. He was asked to stay in the country, but he didn't. But then that begs a lot of other questions. About Ebola. What are the symptoms of Ebola? I can imagine that has some sort of effect on your cognitive reasoning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, respiratory, and we're going to get to Obama signing that respiratory bill this past week, and also I know that we're joined today by Anthony Court, who has some awesome and really kind of strange and interesting Ebola news. But can we play a little bit of DeConte Sawyer, Kofa Sawyer, on the doctors? I mean, we thought we were having a guest that was also a guest on the doctors. I mean, which kind of puts us in the same league. But let's check this out.
He was in Liberia working there for the Liberian government through the Ministry of Finance. And when his sister got sick, no one knew why she was sick, but she just got really sick. And so Patrick Ben, who he was there to help cure for his sister.
But her sister-in-law, you would think, and I was interested to know how well she knew the sister, and a wonderful headdress and jewelry. I mean,
Didn't have any idea.
He had no idea. He had no idea. If he knew, had he known, he would have taken proper precautions. You know, Patrick has a master's in public health.
Okay.
So she's saying that he didn't know, that he was not aware that he had it.
One of the most alarming things is it starts off like the flu, so you don't really know that things are going as badly as they are. The whole bleeding of the eyes and the rather grotesque things that happen to your body happen, I think, pretty close to the worst. You can have it for weeks without knowing, and I have studied that. It can be up to, I think, 3 weeks before you show any symptoms at all, but you're contagious the entire time.
Yeah, my understanding is 2 to 20 days where symptoms begin to show, which include large sores, bleeding from all orifices, and when they talk about aerosol or airborne viral conditions of the disease, it comes from you're bleeding from all orifices, and if you cough, that blood actually blood droplets, like when you cough, there's like a mist. And those blood droplets, I mean, in the span of a cough, they're going to spread only so far, but yet they are contagious in an airborne environment of a close vicinity.
And I mean, so many things you can think of. I mean, if somebody with Ebola was to go into like a big NFL game, like 20, 30 people would be leaving with it. So it seems so microscopic, but like when you're at close quarters,
or flying on an airplane, Kyle.
The other very frightening aspect of it is that there's so much fear surrounding it that you don't know at what point. Like they found that it can be spread through person-to-person contact that isn't necessarily fluid-related. There have been instances where animals in one cage have gotten cross species from a monkey to, it wasn't a pig to a monkey. And it was in separate cages. They never had any contact with each other whatsoever. So this idea that it is never airborne is in fact a lie. That is a misconception. And if you're going to watch half the show and tune out, I want everyone to listen to that, because that seems to be in my studies what they're burying the most, is that it can be caught that way.
Yeah, which I mean, if somebody in your neighborhood was to have Ebola and they live on the other side of the road and you live downwind from them, you're not going to get it. But if you live in the house with that person, constant contact.
And the other thing I'm finding is if you look up tobacco plant Ebola, they are using tobacco plants to come up with this medicine, and you keep having. This is one of the things that make me angry. I worry that the liberty movement, whatever you want to call what it is that we do, is becoming technophobes and medical phobes at some point. Ebola viruses, vaccines, I should say. Do you or don't you? I don't know. Would I, sitting here in Sandusky in the conference room of a hotel, use one? Probably not. But you know what? You should have the right to maybe want to do so if you work in this hotel, because people come here from all over the world. And I feel the same way about this drug. You can't say you don't know what the side effects are. We're not talking about the flu. If you vaccinate yourself for the flu and you're not a high-risk person, I wonder if you're sane. But Ebola, especially if you're going to be around it, I could see where that would be something that you would want to look into. And again, this medicine being risky, it's not more risky than the disease. What are your thoughts, Anthony?
Well, you guys know a lot more about this subject than I've researched myself. But an article from TrueStream Media brought up something interesting. Am I coming through okay so far?
Yeah, for sure, Anthony. I have it here on my screen share. Go ahead with this. Scientists working on government Ebola drug joked about calling population with GMO virus. And this was a little while ago, but, I mean, these are the facts about the Ebola virus, and some of those scientists working on this, Court. And can you go ahead with the article?
Well, yeah, and I'll just read through it a little bit, but it starts off saying, not the guy you want making the Ebola vaccine. A drug maker said, go out and use genetic engineering to create a better virus. 25% of the population is supposed to go in contagion. Now, it starts off by saying media coverage is now focusing on the experimental Ebola treatments being given to 2 American Ebola patients who contracted it while caring for victims in Africa, the site of the world's deadliest outbreak, just as you guys were mentioning. But the Ebola treatment was developed by a leading bioengineering scientist from the University of Arizona who was caught on camera joking about wiping out humanity. Dr. Charles Arnston suggested that the use of a better genetically engineered virus during a post-lecture Q&A focused on overpopulation issues, citing the 2011 Hollywood film Contagion. Now, that's not the kind of joke I would tell in that man's position. I don't think it's appropriate.
And listen to the people stand up and cheer, Court. I'm actually set up to play this. Here we go.
So get this, everybody. The guy developing the experimental Ebola treatment has joked about culling humanity. It doesn't get much creepier than this.
Yeah, this is really creepy. This is Dr. Charles Arnson of Arizona State University. He's the guy who's behind growing vaccines and tobacco plants for DARPA. He's also the guy behind the experimental treatment that was given to the
Okay, we were just talking about that, the tobacco plants, right?
Ebola
The thing is, and this is where, again, who has the answer to this? Was it a really bad joke? I mean, everybody here has made really off-key jokes before.
Yeah, that's true, Sam. But obviously, this guy is in the ranks of people who want to lower the population.
Yeah, that's like Bill Gates being like making a joke about spying on everybody who uses Windows.
That was the second half of my question. Yeah, you don't know if it was a joke or not. But from what I've heard, both of the patients that took this are getting better now. And now you're finding, and again, Obama is saying that he doesn't want to send it over to the countries that need it. That makes me, I mean, anytime he's against something, you almost wonder if you should be for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we should have the choice. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the fact that drug companies have to tell you in the commercial, all the side effects. They say it as fast as they can right at the end.
Death.
I like the idea that you have to know warnings. You have to know things it can't mix with and stuff. So when it comes to new experimental drugs, as much as I like that that's a part of it, like they might have to put on the label like, this is not approved and this shit might not work at all, or like whatever they have to say, but we should still have the choice to look at the data ourselves and choose if we want to take that risk.
Oh yeah. Yeah, having just said that, in the right circumstances that I may risk the jab, if someone told me that I had to, I would be the first one having a fit about it, even if I was going to do it anyway. I think that's the line there. And I want to say, too, and this is why I wish Mrs. Sawyer would definitely have joined us, because the other question I have is, I think all of us, to some degree, play a role in it. Christelle is an example. We're in an amusement park. We go up every week, and I always take 2 Emergency a day. And I'm not plugging Emergency. You can get what's called Essence C. It's generic. Whatever. Same thing. You want to nail about 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. If you take 2 of those, you've got 2,000, and you take it every 8 to 10 hours. We came home, got into the motel. We'd been up for almost like 28 hours between driving. So I told her, I said, here, take this before you go to bed. And she says, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to take that right now. I'm like, you know what? The chances of anybody that we've come in contact with, 1 in a billion, probably more than 1 in a billion, most likely isn't going to happen. However, you're in a resort town, you're at a place, where people travel all over. And my point being, I worry that everyone thinks it can't happen to them. And there are studies that say that vitamin C is excellent for protecting you from getting this, as well as all the other things we report on. But particularly Ebola, which is very good news. Does it cure it? No. Will it prevent it? No. But it will. Well, it can prevent it if if it's not something that you were around a lot, you just pass somebody. And I worry, my point being, that people don't do that. They think, oh, well, it doesn't really matter. It's not really important that I do it this time. And there might be a few less cases.
Are you going to wear a quarantine, like one of those vacuum, medevac, like suits around the park, like to protect yourself?
Well, no, but I'm going to take my vitamin C before I go into it.
Well,
He's like Dustin Hoffman from Outbreak.
Sam's got the vitamin C shield going there. Let me get back to this video and what the actual guy was saying here.
The words at this lecture here are just sick. It's incredible what he said. Listen to his response about should we feed the world when there's 8 billion people.
And should we concern ourselves with feeding 8+ billion in the first place, or should we allow natural forces of carrying capacity to affect
To let disease, war, and pestilence wipe people out.
The side says that. So, thoughts on this? Has anybody seen Contagion? That's the answer. Go out and use genetic engineering to create a better virus.
Well, 25% of the.
Now, see, that worries me there because, like I said a minute ago, we've all made jokes like that maybe weren't so funny, but we always say, "No, I'm kidding," or we'll say something stupid and say, "No, I'm kidding." He made a joke about should we feed anybody? Oh, that's just a joke. Then he made just another joke. At some point, that's not what we do. None of us here have ever done that I know of.
You ever heard the phrase that the people tell the truth through jokes, Sam?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. Have you ever heard the X-rated references between Kyle and D-Lake? I mean, at some point that doesn't. At least we hope it doesn't hold up.
No, we all know it. We all know it's
Just last week, I said jokingly that D-Lake wants to build international highways like I-75 going all the way from Mexico to Canada to usher in a new world order in the Amera.
All the way to France.
Yeah, all the way to France.
But yeah, I mean, it bothers me when there's no obvious joke there, like the ad that Kyle made of him and D-Lake clowning me. That's hilarious. But when something isn't obviously hilarious, I'm with Court. At some point, no, you can't say you were just kidding.
Well, that's.
Well, he says that's the answer, and people are laughing.
I thought it was. What's that other guy's name with the big beard that was like, oh, we need to wipe out and kill like 25%, or we need to wipe out and kill like 85 or more % of the human population to like save the world. Dr. Bianca, what was that guy's name?
Yeah, they've talked about him on Infowars quite a bit.
Court, get back to that article that I just played the video from because there's a little bit more. Why don't you read that?
Yeah, sure. And I left off just above the video there. You started covering. And
throw that up on the showcase, by the way, D-Lake.
Yeah, and then it goes on to say that while this comment made prior to the current Ebola outbreak fears is unsettling given to the fact that Dr. Arneson was already working a biotech vaccine for Ebola, Tom Beal of the Tucson.com wrote, Arneson, who pioneered for the process of producing antigenic proteins from genetically modified plants, said he and his colleagues had been working on a vaccine for Ebola using tobacco plants, as we were mentioning. And it quotes him here saying, I was involved in the initial research funded by the U.S. Army, which gave a grant to the ASU, and the idea was we would use plant biotechnology to make both a vaccine and the monoclonal antibody. Now, among the many high-level projects Dr. Arneson has worked on for DARPA, as well as private biotech industry, includes an edible vaccine with genetically engineered medicine and vitamins grown into foods, like bananas, and even work on bioterrorism vaccine antigens for U.S. biowarfare defense, alongside Mitch Hine, the founder of Epicite, which is the biotech firm that created spermicidal antibodies grown in corn to slow human reproduction.
Can I slow you down real quick there, Cor? Apparently eating bananas is racist.
Hey, can I play devil's advocate to this article really quickly? I can see, I'm not saying this is the case, but I could see, all right, I'm curious to see the specific things that they use genetically modified, and if there is a natural alternative to it. But I could see a side of this where they're like, we think that if we merge a banana with a cucumber, with a strawberry, with a maple tree, that we can make something that cures cancer. Like, okay, I'm listening, but if it's...
Have you seen that tree that grows 40 different fruits and nuts? One tree that grows 40 different... okay, sorry, Kyle, go ahead.
No, but I want to see that. But you know what I mean? Like, if it's something that we couldn't do with a natural alternative, they need to genetically modify a plant to get some sort of antibody or some whatever. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
But the repercussions doing this has on the environment are
You,
unstoppable.
I would want that isolated for sure. Those
Yeah.
grown indoors, under some
I
sort
think
of
there
security.
can be good done with this technology, and I think that's what we never hear of, because the people that have the money and the people that are doing it are doing the kinds of things that all four of us worry about all the time.
But
I'm
there
more
is
concerned
yeah.
with, you know, like maybe what Kyle's saying here. What is it that? What are the good sides of this? And I'm sure there have been good things that come down from it. I mean,
But
I
here's
would
the
hope.
thing. What I feel like we're getting is less of that and more of like, all right, so to make this we need bananas, and one of the guys is like, make it GMO bananas. Like, why? I own some stock, just do it. Like, I could see something like that. Like, just make it say GMO to promote our
Yes,
stuff, and make it so anybody else making it
again,
has to use GMO.
and that's the huge worry. That's the huge worry right there. When people
It's, you know what
don't
it's like
have.
really quickly? It's like when you make a cake and it's like like Betty Crocker brand cake mix, and it's like, and make sure to use Betty Crocker frosting, and it's like, you don't need to use the same frosting. Sorry, continue, Sam.
No, I agree completely. I think that is a very good way to describe the whole bigger problem which is going on. And whereas, again, I come out there and I'm like, hey, make sure you take, some of this concentrated vitamin C, because I used to be sick all the time. Started this about 2.5, 3 years ago. Guess what? I'm never sick. People around me sick all the time. I get sick, I got it for 2 days max, done. And I was, you don't just take one kind of emergency, but I think that's what you run into. And when you're not talking about your vitamins for the day, when you're talking about the food that you eat every day and the things that lead to your health, then I think it's probably a much bigger issue. So yeah, I agree.
Well,
All
I'll
right,
tell you, I'll tell you something. Is like, here's the tree of 40 fruits.
What?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Is there only one of them? That's not real. Type in tree of 40 fruits debunked.
Okay.
Type it in. I dare you. I double dog dare you. That's gonna be debunked as fuck. That looks like a Photoshop picture.
So since it doesn't look like Mrs. Sawyer is going to make it, while we're seeing if it's debunked or not, anybody listening, if you want to comment it or if you want to leave messages of any kind, what do you think the line should be where rights leave off and where quarantine and other people's rights kick in? What are you guys' thoughts? That's the question I've been waiting to ask for 2 weeks now, and I'm not going to get to ask her. So what do you guys think? I mean, again, I don't have an answer, so I really hadn't thought about it.
Court, go ahead.
I think Court might not be hearing. But I don't know. How about this, Sam? This is what we do. We set off planned detonations around the edge of New York City. We get a natural volcanic fault line to erupt, pushing New York City a few miles out into the ocean. We convert it into a giant airport / containment area. Anybody coming into the United States has to fly in through New York Island, get checked, make sure that they don't have diseases, and then they get in. It'll be a giant TSA headquarters.
Well, that's definitely one approach to it. With a sense of humor like that, you could make Ebola medicines. D-Lake.
Yes, sir. In an ongoing series of hybridizing fruit trees, Syracuse University sculptor Sam Van Aken's Tree of 40 Fruit is true to its name. Most of the year it looks pretty ordinary, but in the spring, the tree blossoms display various tones of pink, crimson, and white. Then from July through October, it bears 40 different types of stone fruit, including almonds, apricots, cherries, nectarines, peaches, and plums. The feat is accomplished by grafting together several different varieties, including native fruit, heirlooms, and antiques, some of which are centuries old. The word debunked is not on the page. Kyle.
So it's a giant sculpture.
No, the guy is a sculptor, but he's also works with plants and fruit trees.
No, it said that he goes out and changes it yearly. Look at the part where it said fruit. It said stone fruits.
That's an actual term for these things.
No, I don't. That's a fake tree. I'm gonna look it up right now. What is it?
It's on iflscience.com. This is for real.
Read it again. It sounded like they were talking about a sculpture.
His main source is an orchard at the New York State Agricultural Experiment Station, which he leased when he heard the orchard was to be torn down. After developing a timeline of when each of the 250 varieties blossom in relation to each other, he would graft a few onto the root structure of a single tree. When his quote-unquote working tree was about 2 years old, he would add more varieties onto the tree as separate branches, a technique called chip grafting. Science Alert explains. A sliver that includes a bud is inserted into an incision in the working tree and then taped into place. After it heals over the winter, the branch becomes just another normal branch on the tree to be pruned as usual. And then, dude, they say in the
Yeah, I'm looking it up. You're right. This is totally real. This is insane. That's insane that exists. All right. I think we're tied now because I won the last argument.
So,
It's
D-Lake,
1-1.
what are your opinions on when is it time to say, okay, this is your right, and when is it time to say, no, you need to go under lock and key?
Well, I mean, Sam, I'm just really so excited that I just beat Kyle in a debate. But well, when do you have to go under lock and key when you're coughing up blood? I don't know.
It's a tough question, yeah.
Obama signed the respiratory quarantine.
Well, no, the reason I say this is because there is an article up, and she has posted it on the site regarding her husband. There are people blaming him. You can look up the article. An American citizen is largely to blame for the Ebola outbreak in Lagos. They're saying that because he was in denial and he told people that that wasn't what he had, whether he did it on purpose or didn't, I'm not going to go ahead and guess on that. I don't know him. That's not fair. But because he did that, whether on purpose or not, it was something that led to upwards to maybe 59 people contacting it. But at the same time, if they would have just locked him away, we might even be us out here saying that, that's not right.
Yeah, and for anybody saying, like, how would you not know, like, the symptoms are high fever, headache, joint and muscle ache, sore throat, weakness, stomach pain, and lack of appetite.
Well,
that sounds like D-like if he doesn't have a beer for 4 hours. I mean, anybody...
I know, tell me about it. But, my understanding is that the gentleman contracted, this lady's husband had contracted the Ebola from caring for, being the caretaker to his sister.
Yeah, and she
in Liberia. So how did the sister contract it? Well, because it's spreading and going viral over there in West Africa, and then America imports these people, and just like this guy was an American trying to come back, I'm sure that's where a lot of the people in America or trolls or the animosity comes from, where people are saying, oh, this guy is to blame because he's from America, he was working over there in Africa,
well,
and he wanted to come home to see his 3 daughters, Belle and Mia and the other daughter. He wanted to see them for their birthdays, a celebration of their birthday. He was getting onto a plane. At the airport, they said, "Excuse me, sir, the Nigeria or the Liberia, over there in Africa, they're like, excuse me, sir, you're coming with us." They did put him into quarantine. So I don't think I think if Americans are blaming that gentleman, then they have the wrong idea and they haven't heard the full story, which is what we are trying to get out here on today's Saturday show. Sam.
That and the other thing was that supposedly at the time that he was asked, they gave him an HIV test. It says in the article. And everything came up negative, and they asked if he had been in contact with anyone who had Ebola, and he said no. Supposedly, she had already passed by then, and I don't know whether that's true or not, but they said that he knew. Hello? I just freeze. I'm not sure if I just froze up or not. But anyway, I don't think I did. There was some question as to whether or not he had known at the time. My guess is that if he did, he probably thought that he would have already had it by now. So I don't know that he really worried about it as much.
Okay, Sam. Yeah, you're right. I think what.
Oh,
what,
I thought I was. I stopped because I thought I was frozen. I'm sorry.
No,
I
I
stopped
stepped
my
out. I
little
didn't
speech
know.
there because I thought.
I'm sorry, I could hear you still. I didn't know that Kyle had stepped out at the same time. My bad. But my understanding was that the gentleman knew Mr. Patrick Oliver Sawyer, who was caretaking for his sister. Didn't find out until actually he was quarantined by the Nigerian government, and he died a few short days later. Okay, listen to this. My name is DeConte Coffey Sawyer, the young lady that we were trying to have on the show today. Her husband, Patrick Oliver Sawyer, was the first American to die from Ebola. He was employed by the Liberian government as the national coordinator of the economic community in West African states. Through the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. It was in light of that work that Patrick was in Nigeria to attend a conference when he collapsed at a Nigerian airport in Lagos. He was immediately quarantined by the Nigerian government, sounds like they did the right thing, and he died a few short days later. Now, he was caring for his sick sister, not knowing she had Ebola, and he may have contracted it that way. I mean, that's the most likely explanation, because posthumously, after his sister had passed away, they had discovered the Ebola virus. And I mean, did the guy that conducted the autopsy contract Ebola after that? I mean, does this live on after the patient or person dies? You know, I mean, I don't know. But Dr. not Bianca, and those fuckers, I mean, Court, did you want to talk about those guys that want to see like 95% of the population destroyed and killed? And do you think that Ebola, I mean, do you think it would be smart to put that in any kind of weaponized form? I mean, that's illegal.
Well, there's been talk of them weaponizing Ebola, the Soviets, and also at the CDC here. To me, you know, people like, if you're mentioning, I think his name's Dr. Bianca. I'd have to, I can't remember 100% that's his name, but
I was trying to remember it this morning. I was saying Bianca. I think it's Pianca. Let me look.
Yeah, it is. I think you're right. But yeah, the mentality they have is there's too many of us, and somehow they have a say in who's going.
Oh wow, RoboCourt. We've missed that so much. Kyle, are you there?
Yes, I am. Man, it's been a while.
I know, right?
What's the time? 1:41. I'm gonna have to make that into a soundbite.
Andy's got the green screen behind him. It's gonna be perfect.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be wonderful. Maybe I should put him in the same place as Sam, on top of that mountain. There's a mountain in front of a theme park, and there's one chair up there with Wi-Fi. It's beautiful. How's the view up there, Sam? Did we lose Sam too?
I think we might have lost Sam too. Oh wait, he's moving. He's on mute. Sam.
Oh, I'm muted. No, the view is absolutely wonderful. I am in Sandusky at Cedar Point and enjoying a little bit of. It's been the rainiest, coldest damn summer in Ohio you've ever seen. We buy season passes up here, so I jumped out of the sun just to join you guys and bless you with my presence.
Was the weather, because like, in my experience, the higher up you are, like if you're standing on top of a very tall mountain, it seems a lot colder and worse when it rains. Maybe it's just your position. Sam's on top of a giant crane, sitting in a hammock.
And it takes talent, I'll tell you.
Okay, give it up to Court for continuing to try to log back in. Anthony, do we have you back?
Yeah, probably just for a moment. My computer's not liking me today.
Well,
oh, buddy, that's just awful.
Terrible. Why don't you give us?
It is just awful.
Why don't you get out what you wanted to say while you can, Court? Go for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you were mentioning, I think his name's Eric Pianka. They all have this mentality that it's good for to want to thin out the population, and if you spend about 3 hours in LA traffic, you might be thinking the same thing. But who are they referencing? They're obviously talking about you and me. They're not just talking about.
Yeah, that's the problem with like the Democrat Party is like deep inside I think a lot of them do believe that like the ultimate goal is like a hierarchy that holds people down, but every one of them seems to think they're going to get to be part of that hierarchy.
Yeah, they think that somehow they're not the people that fall into the demographic of being.
Yeah, and for those out there who feel like that, especially people in power who think like, oh, well, I'm part of the elite, like, won't affect me at all. Look at any dystopic, look at any dystopic future movie. Look at Soylent Green. Look at 1984. Look at Fahrenheit 451. A Brave New World. All of these like great novels from the past, what they all have in common is that the hierarchy's standard of living goes down equally to the lower class. So like, all right, we might be in little tiki huts, but you're going to be in a studio apartment with no fruit. I don't know.
No, this is sort of the precursor to bringing in things like Agenda 21. And when you have people like Prince Philip saying he wishes that he could come back as a virus to kill, I forgot how much percentage of humanity. Mm-hmm. We understand the elites feel they're a part of the population that's not affecting what they proclaim to be overpopulation. That if you're rich and have power among individuals, that you are somehow special and exempt to any measures they have to implement. And I kind of left off earlier when Kyle was playing devil's advocate regarding the article we were talking about. But here I wanted to read from that part again, where he used to work alongside Mitch Klein, the founder of Epicite, the same biotech firm that created the antibodies that grow in corn to slow human reproduction. Now, putting
spermicide, right?
Spermicidal, not spermicide in the condom that you buy to.
This is something. I thought it was the same thing.
No, I mean I don't know if the exact chemical similarities, but there are antibodies that are grown to the corn to slow human reproduction, and that's why you hear in national news and Mike Adams, everybody being against the GMO corn, which is, I believe, 80 to 90% of the corn that is sold on our shelves. Now, people that are put in line with these companies being in control of the vaccines of things like Ebola makes you kind of put into question why this person's being chosen to do that. So I think it's a great article by True Stream Media and Aaron Dykes and Melissa Melton exposing the people behind.
They have repeatedly done really good stories like this too. I mean, because it'll be interesting. What frightens me the most, and I think I had an article about Bill Gates, open letter to Bill Gates on the Media Speaks with it. It's bothersome that they don't ever reply. They don't ever say that isn't what I mean. They never say I was kidding. They always just let it fly like nobody heard it. That's even more alarming.
Right. Let's take a look at Matt Drudge's website, and I've been talking about the Drudge Report a lot this week as he's been being demonized in the media by Geraldo Rivera and other mainstream media outlets. I put Ebola into my control find on the page. Ebola taking economic toll in region. These are the headlines in the category. Deniers rely on witchcraft to fend off virus. That should work. Don't touch walls, they're warning. WHO, the World Health Organization, WHO? What are you, an owl? Says outbreak to get worse and go on for months. Guinea shuts borders. I believe the Equatorial Guinea president over there in Africa was just here in the United States in Washington, D.C. to meet with Barack Obama and take a picture. Concern over Ontario patient from Nigeria with flu symptoms. Is that the gentleman we've been speaking of? Experts, Ebola could cross unsecure border. Let's click on this News 1130 link.
While that's loading, did you see the article about Jibo down there?
Dude, Kyle, I just wanted to go on record and say that ever since we covered Jibo, every single page I go to has a Jibo ad. Where is it on this page? Yeah, I'm sure it's around here somewhere.
I've been noticing it too.
It pops up like on practically every page. I don't know if it's just us because we talked about it and they think that we're super interested in it, or what, Kyle? What's up with that? You notice it too?
Just on Drudge.
Well, you know,
Drudge.
Google has all those little bots listening in on your YouTube videos. You know they're doing it with the Hangouts as well,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be surprised.
So
But what I wanted to throw in there
yeah.
while you guys were talking about the whole Ebola thing, this seems to me to be, I mean, they could be also trying to profit off of like a vaccine, like they're making, like they did with the whole swine flu scare.
Yeah, making a big scare.
The vaccine itself having giving you more health defects over time, and you know, just like the commercial said, all of the side effects being almost worse than what it's trying to cure or prevent. So I think that should also be looked upon and thought about as well. I mean, how many people were affected negatively by the swine flu vaccine? My mother, of one of a few, had a lot of health problems after taking the swine flu vaccine. After I vehemently was against her doing it, she still went and did it because of the mainstream media's scare, you know, paranoia they induced upon people, saying that unless you take this, you're going to get swine flu. Go ahead.
That's the most worrisome aspect, too. Nobody ever asks themselves, is this something that I may come in contact with? You know, if not, then it's probably not worth it. And nobody ever asks that question.
Or if your body can fight it off, like the flu. Like, don't get me wrong, if you're 80-something years old and you get a flu shot, like, all right, I get it, because to you, the flu, you're likely to get it, and it very well could kill you. Or like, I mean, I don't know. I can't get behind the people who want to vaccinate babies. But old people, I get it. But like for me, I'm 25. I'm pretty healthy. I invite the flu. Come get some. Like the flu, the more you get it, the stronger your body is against it. I want the flu.
Yeah, you know, I'll get it when it comes to me, but you know, by the time you're taking the flu vaccine, it's already mutated how many times over.
Yeah.
So, you know, it all depends on I guess your chance of exposure, but for the most part, most of the vaccines, from what I gather, cause more problems than they help. Now look at what they do with people in the military when they're sent overseas. They don't have a choice. They have to take a vaccine that has barely even been tested.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it doesn't even work whatsoever. They're just doing something.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're just trying to give them something to prevent something, but then they end up getting way more health problems because of it.
Well, let's let the Tuskegee Airmen test it out there, Court. Let the Tuskegee Airmen test out those new shots. Don't you think that'd be a good idea? The black guys.
Yeah, you think maybe they'll just give them Ebola and give them the vaccine and see what happens. I mean, that's just the mentality that our government would have in this situation, at least regarding our military. What was it in Operation Northwoods? They were giving people in, was it Venezuela or one of those South American countries? I forgot what disease. I think it was
Polio?
something like that. They were giving no, not polio. It was something else. But I'll pull it up and talk.
Well, there was
about it
the case that was going on all the way up through like the 80s, where they were giving mentally challenged, homeless, and black people shit to make them sterile in with their vaccines.
Like syphilis?
That's like on record. Here, I'll find that. Huh?
I mean, I was saying syphilis, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to win a game show right now. But
Here, I'll look it up. Keep talking. But yeah, that's another thing where like they've specifically used vaccines against the American people.
I mean, this stuff is spreading across West Africa, and even in the pictures, I mean, it's primarily targeting black people, but I mean, there's primarily black people over there in Western Africa, you know? I mean, South Africa, there's a lot of white people. Did you guys know that?
Well, yeah, because of the British settlements.
Yeah, British settlements.
You throw out there. An author I like.
Oddly enough, they destroyed the farming community there in doing so, because they took the farms off the indigenous people, and then the people that took the farms, of course, had no idea what they were doing.
Well, I mean, it's compassionate Americans and also brothers attending to their sisters when they're sick, not knowing that the sister of Mr. Sawyer was actually infected with the Ebola virus. But I mean, there's some of the people that are being brought back here to the States are Americans. That's why we feel obligated to bring them back here. When I don't really know why. I heard a report this week, like who was that? A doctor, a black American doctor, who was like, why didn't we just send our health rescue planes over there? Why didn't we send our planes over there? I mean, we did send our planes over there to pick these people up and bring them back here. But why didn't we just try to treat them and do all that over there? Oh, well, I guess because we have better facilities over here. But then you hear some of the reports that facilities, they're at like a level 4 facility when they should be at like a level 1 facility. And they should be at the CDC. In court, I mean, I know you're a big fan of the CDC and The Walking Dead, and how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, look at what happened at Jekyll Island. You see what their measures are by putting tape under a door to prevent weaponized diseases from escaping. So the CDC itself, you know, am I coming through here?
Yeah, Court, continue, please.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I just heard a noise and made me think I was dropping out here again. I apologize for that. But you know, just like I said before, you know, it's the next scare, it's the next swine flu, the next vaccine that will probably soon be available to all of you at your local Walgreens or medical clinic. And
well, did swine flu become that, or it sort of just died off and like went away?
It did die off, but for the longest time they were still advertising it, that you should still get it. And my mother got it at the advice of one of her physicians, but afterwards she had numerous health problems. I used to work with a gentleman whose father, back I think it was the 70s or 80s, they had that other swine flu scare, and he took the vaccine and died from it. So the person believed that they did it on purpose. They gave that vaccine out on purpose to eliminate people. And that's from his mouth. That's not from some conspiracy website. That's from somebody's family member who was affected by that previous swine flu vaccine that was dirty and then ended up killing a lot of people. But when you got people that want to cull more than a quarter of the population here, you know, I think they say it best at the end of the article I was quoting from earlier. So someone casually remarking on culling some 25% of the population with a bioweapon is the last person you want to trust with creating an already dangerous countermeasure to Ebola, which carries a death rate as high as 90%. And yet that is exactly what's been leading this biowarfare research for decades now. So that's the conclusion at the end of the Truth Stream Media article.
Yeah, great article.
I think they have a great point with that. I mean, who are we trusting behind these vaccines and you know, the countermeasures, as they call them? People that want most of us dead, most of the population of the world to be culled. The people are part of the science cult, and I'm not talking about science that matters. I'm not against science. I'm not, you know, like you guys were saying earlier, there's a fight, you know, in the truth movement, liberty movement, there's like a blind spot against science and certain things, but there's a part of science, you know, there's fixed science. There's science that's angled to make us believe that having too many kids is bad, and that breathing it, you know, the fact that we breathe out carbon dioxide is bad, and that we need to limit what we do as humans.
You know what has really, really bad carbon footprint and emissions? It emits like black smoke. Is Sam's computer? It's Sam's computer.
I think Sam's computer is the cause of the fake global warming that we're getting.
Sam's computer has an 80cc diesel motor.
It's interesting that the only way I can log into any Google Hangout is to log in under a name that is not my own. And I've heard people say things like that. And I've always thought that they were somebody trying to get attention. And I think it's odd that now it's happening to me. But yeah, I have to log in under somebody's name to be able to do a Google Hangout now. That's why you haven't seen any on the views.
I certainly don't understand all your problems, Sam, when you're using the latest version of Internet Explorer.
You might have to.
Somehow D-Lake has missed the entire story here. I had Chrome, Firefox, and Internet Explorer. The only one that was allowing me to use Google at all for up to about the last 2 months was Internet Explorer. Now Google Hangouts simply won't allow the correct views to post anything. I can't even.
I think I know what it is. I think I figured it out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sam, you need to go into each browser individually, and you need to delete all cookies.
I don't have any cookies on my computer.
Are you sure?
We're not talking about sugar cookies, Sam.
No, I wish we were. I really do like sugar cookies, but no, I haven't. I don't have any cookies, and I don't have any history at all. Like
not the cookies that Cookie Monster wants, Sam. The web browser.
When you type in YouTube doesn't come up. Like I have no history on my computer whatsoever.
Sam, I was telling my friend, my coworker at work this week about some of your computer issues, and I'm like, but he's on the most recent version of Internet Explorer, and
that's not what I said. I wish you would quit saying that.
Sam, get Google Chrome for all things Google.
I have the newest version of Windows.
Submit to the New World Order, Sam. Your fucking Windows. You need a Mac. And
that's not Windows 98.
What are you smoking? What is wrong with you, D-Lake? I just told you the Chrome didn't work.
Oh, the Chrome didn't work on your Chrome. The Chrome browser doesn't work on your computer, Sam.
On your steampunk machine.
All right, for everybody who's actually going to pay attention to this, Google Hangout is not allowing my account to post anything in Chrome, Firefox.
That sounds reasonable.
Or Internet Explorer.
Yeah, no, that sounds reasonable. Sam's tarantula runs
the only that was working
computer.
Was Internet Explorer.
Yeah. I think D-Lake is right, Sam. You need a Mac. Macs are so much easier.
Hey,
not a Mac, not to Mac on a female, like a Mac Daddy, Sam, like a Mac computer.
All right,
my brother runs Mac. I'm not a real big fan of Mac.
Have you tried the Google Chromebook while we're talking about random computers? I have to admit, I love the Google Chromebook. I do 99% of everything on this thing. I love it to death. It's like the best computer I've ever had. The only thing is I can't do video editing. Aside from that, I can do everything on this thing. And Hangouts run really slow. But
while we're talking about Sam's being... Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kyle. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was done.
No, but I was just going to say it's slightly relatable. I know it's not really about Ebola, but on Facebook, I went on my whole Gaza tirade about... I posted, it must have been a dozen things on our Facebook, but they're suddenly hidden from the timeline. You can't find them anywhere unless you look deep into the history. So I don't know if we are being censored by Facebook or by other entities, but that's the first time I've ever seen that happen with any of our posts.
Yeah, I've been looking into it too because I remember you posting that one article multiple times, and I could only find it once on there, and it was like from when you first wrote the article, and none of the new ones were up. And I don't know. I mean, did you send an email to Facebook?
Not yet, but I plan on doing that. But I do feel like I'm being censored because whenever I was just looking back to reference something I posted there, and I've done this before in the past. 100% of the time, it was always there still. I didn't have to call you and have you dig deeper to look for it. So I think there's a conspiracy behind this, someone limiting the reach of these posts. The last thing I wanted to think is one of you guys hid them or deleted them. I would never. I know the whole point of our website and us being together is not to censor free speech. So I would think that would be the last thing on my mind. But I don't want to go too off topic going into the whole Gaza thing. I know we're talking about the whole Ebola scare and Ebola outbreak, And there's no word from the guests, Sam. Nobody emailed you. Nothing like that.
Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Sam's on mute. It's frozen. We really wanted to have the guest on. I believe we covered a lot of her issues and topics. Our scheduled guest was DeConte Kofa Sawyer, widow now after her husband Patrick Oliver Sawyer was the first American to die from Ebola, according to I don't know, medical history, I would suppose. But as we shift gears into entertainment, and Sam seems frozen, so it's a perfect time to bring it up. This was hilarious.
Oh man.
On the Facebook page, because Sam's internet, ancient technology, and he says I cursed him, and there's no reports this week because his Wi-Fi is crapping out, and now he's at the state park or whatever, and he doesn't know. And then Bo, our good friend Bo, posts a picture of Sam's microphone. There it is. And then I say, everyone listen to the show, because when Sam comes in at 2039, you can hear his ancient technology. Sam needs to get a new computer. There's a picture of Sam's computer posted by Kyle. Bo posted a picture of Sam typing on his computer there. I said I tried to call him. Of course, on the world's first telephone that Sam uses.
Alexander Graham Bell model.
They don't build computers like they used to. Sam Gandhi says, there's Sam's computer right there. Sam says, here's a throwback to the first episode of The Correct Views back in 2012. There it is. I said, here's Sam's email, obviously. There's Sam. He puts his email messages in the front package of the homing pigeon there.
Pigeon.
Here's Christelle, the behind-the-scenes queen, operating the boards of the Correct View show. And Correct View says, my computer is a Cadillac. I have the newest version of Internet Explorer. That's what's wrong with me. We were supposed to have a guest on today, and it didn't work out. And this show is fucking great.
Hey, he sent her a telegram, so I don't know why. He didn't receive it.
I'm sorry, our DeConte Kofa Sawyer to be on the show today. She's still trying to decipher Sam's Morse code.
Maybe his pigeon got shot down, so he's like sitting here waiting for a reply, but he's just got to send another pigeon. Because they're not 100% accurate, those pigeons. I mean, even the mail system is 98%. That pigeon, you probably got like a 70% shot. It's getting where you want it to be.
It got intercepted by an NSA.
Here's Sam's email right here. Sorry, Court. Go ahead, Court.
Oh no, I'm just saying his pigeon got intercepted by an NSA culprit. I'm thinking, which in this case.
An eagle with a GoPro strapped to his back.
You know what happened just now? No joke. Here, let me show you my screenshot. This is the event page of the Hangout. It just changed, which it hasn't changed the entire episode. I think at 1 hour it changes the picture to the most recent thing, and I think it only does it once an hour. And look at what you just did. Let me get. Oh, that's the wrong screen. My bad. Here. Where is it? I think it's this one. Yeah. Sorry, I got a lot of screen options. This is the Hangout page. So that's the preview picture that people get now. Is Sam's email with the picture of that pigeon. So for the rest of the show,
we're gonna have to change that in post-production. Did you guys have any other entertainment news so we can wrap this up? Hopefully Sam can jump back in for the amazing ending of today's no guest having broadcast.
Well, have you heard about this? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Well, have you heard about this hitchhiking robot? I'm going for it. Go with me. He's got a delay. Leave him in the past.
Kyle, go ahead.
Just kidding. But have you heard about this hitchhiking robot?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? There's a robot that's made out of buckets and a fun noodle, and it's traveling all over America. It's been in the United States and Canada. and like you just take it for a drive for a while you're like on the highway, and then you like pull over and drop it off, and somebody else picks it up.
Has anyone drawn a dick on its face yet?
Let me pull up. I'm sure I can find a page of it really quick. I was looking at it on my phone.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look that up. You need to look that up.
I'm looking it up on my own. I got this.
It's not a wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Court, have you heard about the hitchhiking robot, or is it
No,
a
I have
robot?
not.
Or is it
Hitchhiking
animated?
robot has survived 1/3 of journey across the. Come on, load, internet.
I like how it trails off to get you to click into the article to get the
You don't believe my tree of 40 fruits, but you want me to believe a hitchhiking robot? What is this?
Right there. It's made out of like garbage cans and like electronics and fun noodles.
Hey, it's
Cool,
funny.
dude.
People would probably pick up that thing versus some of the actual hitchhikers you see.
Dude, if you were a hitchhike killer, you know what the best thing you could do right now is go to that area where it says it is on the website and just dress up like the fucking robot and then kill people. If that's what you're into. I'm not saying to go do that, but that's what I would do if I was looking to kill people. All right, let's see. I think these are the people who made it.
If you were gonna kill people, you would do it dressed up as the hitchhiking robot?
Yeah, because then people would pick you up. People don't pick up normal hitchhikers because they think they're going to kill them. You know? So you dress up like the robot.
Have you ever hitchhiked?
No, have you?
No,
Yeah, I
I
used to hitchhike all the time on Highway 94.
Really?
You know, that doesn't surprise me, D-Lake, for some reason.
We used to
How
get
do
picked up
you
by
hitchhike?
Mexicans.
When you get picked up, like, I don't know, I feel like everyone thinks that a hitchhiker's going to kill them.
Down there, Highway 94 is about a 45-minute drive, but anyone entering the highway is going pretty much to the border of Tecate in California, where I used to live, and I used to get rides from Mexican guys all the time, back and forth.
So they wouldn't expect any sexual favors from you, D-Lake? I mean, were you ever like, sorry, I can't
I
do
never
that.
had to perform sexual favors, but there was this one guy this one time. I went back to his trailer, and he was showing me all his knives and guns. That was kind of creepy.
Sounds like fun. 1 second. If we're at entertainment, I have to switch positions.
He's like, hey, pick the weapon that I get to murder you with.
Yeah, it got a little scary. I had to get out of there, but and the guy was like, yeah, I was trained Delta Force, and I was the Marine. I killed people. I was trained to kill people, but once I, retired and came back to the States, there wasn't too many jobs I could get just killing people. So now I work for the cable company per diem, and that's why I have to.
He should just join the police force. They get to legally kill people all the time.
Where's Kyle? Kyle, do we still have you there? You're switching camera angles?
I think he's doing some technical.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, Kyle, we're getting near the end of the show, and now you're switching everything.
I'm going to the entertainment corner.
Oh, great. What do you got for entertainment, Kyle? What do you got?
I don't know. I think me and Megan are going to go see a movie today.
I heard, I heard that movie Lucy was actually pretty good. I haven't really seen too many previews for it.
We're going to see that comic book one with the fox. D-Lake, help me out.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, I think we're going to see Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a drive-in theater in the area, so we're going to go to the drive-in, put some blankets in the back of the truck, bring the dog. Looks like a pretty decent flick.
That's awesome. My friend was telling me this week that Marvel Studios gave U.S. Army and Marines special Guardians of the Galaxy collectibles for their service, and I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of worried though because the movie, like, I saw a trailer for that a long time ago, and so I think that movie's been done for a while. And normally, when a movie, like, you see a trailer, but then you don't hear anything for like a year, and then you see the trailer again, and then it comes out, usually that's a bad sign. But I've been hearing only good things about it.
It's doing really well on like Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to the drive-in in a while. Sit down, drink some beers, be all hillbilly in the bed of my truck. It'll be a fun time, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Trying to think if I've watched any good like movies or anything on Netflix recently. Like,
I watched Need for Speed with Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad last night, and I thought it was fucking amazing.
really?
I talked about it on my show last night, but for some reason, my show, because I had to delete like a 14-second fuck up, then start over. Then, while it was publishing, Sam posted 2 of his videos, and now my video is like online, but it's hidden from the video manager.
So I wonder how that movie worked. I bet they used like they had like the visual people from the game do all the visuals, because like in the trailer for that, aside from every once in a while seeing people talk, it looked like a commercial for Need for Speed. Like it literally looked like the exact same thing you'd get on like the new PlayStation or Xbox.
Yeah, but what people fail to realize, what was so awesome about the movie, like people like Fast and Furious, right, Kyle?
Yeah.
But that's a bunch of CGI garbage. The fucking Need for Speed movie used no CGI. All the car action is effing real.
Really? It looked like it's from the game.
It looks straight from the game, but it's all real. I mean, it's fucking wicked awesome movie. And
That's crazy when the technology gets so good that you look at real shit and say that is probably fake. And like they always say, like when you're like you can't tell if it's real or not, it looks so real now that you're questioning the real shit.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, practical effects are making a comeback, that's for sure, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. Like I keep hearing director after director saying like we need to go back to the good old days of like fucking, costumes and like actual effects and stuff.
Hey Kyle, I'm on Rotten Tomatoes, where Guardians of the Galaxy has a 92% tomato meter, and that's the percentage of the critics, and the audience gives it a 96% liked it. Dude, you're gonna
That's got to be awesome then. There's no.
It's got to be awesome. Your girlfriend's gonna be so happy. Lucy, Court coming in at 62%.
Hey, you want to see something messed up?
Get It On, the James Brown movie is higher at 77%. Hercules is floating at the same level, 62%. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is 91%. I'm sure AJ's happy about that.
That looks good.
Then there's a bunch of stinkers.
Yeah, but didn't you guys think the last one before that, the James Franco one, was horrible?
That was all right.
I hated it.
I liked it, man. I thought the animation
was the best, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
I don't know. I didn't really.
Speaking of movies that are underrated, you know what I watched last night? Because Megan had never seen it. We watched Jersey Girl.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I thought Jersey Girl was a decent movie, and Megan
isn't that like the
never
most
seen
chick flicky one that he made? Kevin Smith.
I don't know, Chasing Amy maybe, but no, yeah, it was definitely it was a heart-wrenching comedy, I guess you could call it, but it was a good movie. Megan had never seen it and only heard horrible reviews, and after she watched it, she's like, I thought it was cute, thought it was a good movie. I'm like, hell yeah. And then we high-fived.
Video came out this week from the set of the new Superman Batman movie, which has moved its scheduled date to not compete with Captain America Part 3.
That's smart.
They had a video of, it wasn't Ben Affleck though, it was a stuntman who is built and looks like pretty much just like him, but as Bruce Wayne, like saving a chick after some sort of catastrophe. And I don't know, I have high hopes for that movie. I mean, whether Ben Affleck is Bruce Wayne or Batman, I think he'll be able to pull it off.
Me too, but be prepared that no matter how it goes, it's going to get horrible reviews, and they're going to say he was a shitty Batman. Just because everybody's coming off Christian Bale.
What about that Wonder Woman costume that got posted like a week or two ago after the Comic-Con?
It's interesting. They're saying that's the woman who's going to play
Yeah,
it seems like they're trying to fucking bang these things out. I got a feeling we're gonna see all these movies within the next like 4 years.
Wasn't that Linda Carter originally, Wonder Woman?
Yeah, Linda Carter. I don't know why.
Carter's awesome.
Yeah, she's like everybody. You can't talk shit about her. People will get mad at you.
Hey, what do you guys think about them making Thor a woman? Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, in the comic books, Thor is now a female character.
I think that's sort of ludicrous.
Is the name still just Thor?
Yeah, it's still Thor. The power of the
Thorine.
Everything's
sounds like something
the
that
same except it's a chick now. It's pretty much like Thor had a sex change, but
Thor is the fucking lightning god, dude. He's not the Aphrodite, like.
Are they gonna make her like sexy, or is she gonna be like a fucking butch ass female Thor?
no,
like
she's
an old
Norse
Viking
god.
chick?
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
gonna look like a Viking chick. Big, tall, blonde with big boobs. Yeah.
Are they gonna
like,
get
you
Lucy
know,
Lawless?
huge waistline, broad shoulders.
Yeah, broad shoulder.
Like, you know who they should model Thor, female Thor after?
Michelle
Michael
Obama.
Obama.
Thor
Michael
is a
Obama.
man, dude. That's ridiculous. You can't just make Thor a female. I mean, come the fuck on.
It's
Man, baby.
That's like turning Wolverine into a fucking woman, dude. Come on.
They did that. What was her name? Lady X or whatever?
That's horrible.
Lady
You can't.
Death.
But that's like no.
Yeah, Lady Death.
They're not changing Thor's name though. It's still going to be Thor, and it's just going to be a female. You don't do that.
They should name it like Lady Thor Strike or something.
Well, I mean, it's like if Thor becomes a chick, then what's her name, Six or Lady Styx or whatever, or a Sif, Lady Sif. Now that needs to be Gentleman Sif, like, and
Sir
and
Sif.
notice how they do this right before a potential Hillary Clinton run on the presidency.
Yeah, you could be one.
So if
hand
you have
in
a
hand.
problem with Court.
What if she looks just like a young Hillary Clinton?
Court has a problem with female Thor. He is a sexist.
Yeah, just like I'm a
And he has
racist for
problem
not
with a
liking
female
Obama.
president named Hillary Clinton because he does not like female Thor. You are a sexist, Court.
What if female Thor looks like just like early '90s Hillary Clinton and like uses diplomacy and shit?
No, we're just gonna make the Hulk into a female, make him look like Shrek, and then we'll be fine.
There's already She-Hulk.
No, this is bullshit. You can't. It's just fucking okay.
Hey,
What color is She-Hulk?
Hey!
Purple?
Hey-ho!
Hey, unless they make it a comedy and they give the original Thor actor a fucking sex change in the movie, and it's like it's becoming a comedy.
That would be an awesome opening sequence. It's like Thor gets captured by like what's his name, his asshole brother, you know, and he's like
Loki,
he like ties him down. He's like, I finally have you, and he's like, what are you gonna do to me? And it's what's his name from the Avengers movie. What's his name that played Thor?
I forgot his name.
I don't know. The one that is females find sexy. That guy. He's tied down to a chair. He's like, "What are you doing to me?" And he's like, "I'm going to give you a sex change with this sex change ruby from the mystical Nordic other paradigm that we live in." And then he
Chris
shoves it in.
Hemsworth.
He's like, "Oh!"
Yeah.
And he turns into female Thor. And the whole movie is it's kind of like that anime Case Closed. He's trying to get back to his original Thor body.
You know who could play the female Thor is that wrestler Chyna. Remember her?
Chyna would be a great female Thor. That's a great idea.
Oh man.
No, what if they got what's her name, Ronda Rousey? That would be fair.
I just want to say She-Hulk is one of my favorite characters, and it's Bruce Banner's cousin Jennifer, who got a blood transfusion from the Hulk, and then she became She-Hulk. But she could just change into She-Hulk whenever she wants. She doesn't have to get enraged, but so she has the power. So she's like super hot, sexy, and she doesn't lose her brain when she transforms. So she's still just a smart like attorney chick, while she has the power of the Hulk. I mean,
like you're overruled, and they're like, "Damn it, lawyer."
Okay.
Yeah, Jennifer Walters. There she is.
Wait, let me see.
Yeah, I think it's
Just don't talk.
ridiculous.
Just court.
Thor is a woman. I mean, Marvel should just.
Don't talk shit about She-Hulk, and we won't have a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
You could go love on Hillary Clinton all you want. Speaking of what we were talking about, they are building up for a whole female presidency, and it's great that you brought that up, Julie. Even that artist, I hate her guts. That Katy Perry artist was saying that if she would make a song for her campaign when she ran for president. So
That would be hilarious.
we got the
That would lose her so many votes because, like, how many old dudes who even are Democrats would hear the Katy Perry Hillary song and be like, "Fuck it, I'm not voting for Katy Perry." Like they would see it as a vote for Katy Perry. They would lose votes on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have.
Well, it just shows. It's just like the whole stars that promoted Obama's presidency. it's already beginning with Hillary. You have people that are on the top 40 saying they'll make a song for this the candidacy. They're laying the footwork and preparing for pushing Hillary for president in 2016. It also looks like the Republican side is, I'm guessing, something like Palin. So
No,
I mean,
they're not gonna go with Palin. They're trying to push up Jeb Bush right now. They might let Ted Cruz through. They were trying for Chris Christie, but he fucking ate too much.
Yeah, he's got too many scandals. This week in the news was Sarah Palin going to start a third party, and also another article link about the Democrats' preemptive war and strike on Rand Paul, potential Republican frontrunner.
Oh man, Rand Paul is a huge letdown for me right now. I don't know about you guys, but
yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to get interesting in the upcoming months especially as we start the new year, 2015, when all the activity will be going down for the 2016 presidency. I have female Thor up on my screen share. I think we significantly managed to talk entertainment long enough in hopes that Sam would be back to join us. It doesn't look that way. What do you guys say we wrap up the show?
All right, I guess we can do that. If that's what you really want, D-Like. I'm all comfortable in my
here. Guys, keep it going.
I'm just so comfortable in my entertainment section spot.
Well, give me some entertainment section spots.
All right. What about I don't know. I got nothing. All right, let's wrap it up.
Well, unless you want to hear me talk about parallel parking and Big Rig, I got really nothing for you, or about how much
All right, give me 5 minutes on parallel parking.
Well, it's fucking hard in a Big Rig. That's all I can say.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine so.
Hey, Court, can you relate the recent Ebola outbreak news to your favorite show, The Walking Dead?
Well, actually, there was an episode. I've talked about it in one of my older reports. Them bringing up weaponized Ebola in The Walking Dead. Actually, when he was talking about what they were protecting at the CDC, he goes, "You know what we have behind these walls? Weaponized Ebola!" Like freaking out. And that's, there's many things that could leak out and cause. I mean, that's what I think that's what they're insinuating in The Walking Dead in the earlier season, that it was leaked out and it was supposed to be some sort of weapon. And there was that whole meme about Ebola coming to Georgia, and that's where The Walking Dead is based out of. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh yeah, I saw that meme too. Yeah, that's what made me
that meme fly around Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that's about as much as I can relate to it. Is the government, when you have people at the CDC in charge of creating a vaccine, wanting to cull the population, that's a concern.
The governor went to the Bilderberg meeting or something like that, or Atlanta, Georgia mayor or somebody who went to the Bilderberg meeting, and people are like, "Why is he going there?" And then,
why do you think he's going there? You and I know why he's going there. Everybody should know why he's going there.
Yeah. Then we bring the Ebola patient to his jurisdiction.
Oh yeah. And I think I was seeing reports of them saying that people were in suits, but then people caring for them weren't, or something nearby. I'd have to look at that again, but it's a very fragile situation. I wouldn't want to deny someone coming back and seeing their family, but if they're infected with this disease, it has to be treated in a proper fashion. So
I'd like to reiterate that I think that the West Africans and the Nigerians did the right thing by actually quarantining the American gentleman that was on his way back to America to visit his daughters for their birthday. And my condolences to our guest that we were supposed to have on the show, losing her husband. That's tragic.
Yeah, mine as well. I'm sorry that she couldn't come on the show. Hopefully next time. I don't know if I'll be around for it, but...
Yeah, sorry. I think his quarantine was the right thing. But Kyle, you look so relaxed right there. I want to go chill out and sit back like you. Let's wrap this.
All right, let's wrap it up. You want me to go first?
Hey, I'm D-Lake from Prez, MediaSpeaks.com. Check out the website at www.themediaspeaks.com and check us out on the Media Speaks. Kyle, I'm done.
I think that's good. I think you did it.
For real? No, come
Yeah.
on, give us more than that, Kyle. You can do it.
You want more? Can you hit end broadcast from where you're at? D-Lake?
Yeah, I want more.
Can do you have the button though? Cause I'm so far away. Like that's like a mile away where I was sitting.
What button do you want?
Can you hit end broadcast when I'm done?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'm Kyle Phillips. Thanks for watching. You can find Sam DeGangi, Correct Views on YouTube. Anthony Cord is in Constant Injustice. David Lake is David Lake. Just scroll past
Constant Injustice?
Constant Injustice. Right?
Inconstant,
It's always so confusing.
Justice.
That's getting constant.
David Lake. Just scroll past the guy playing guitar. Find David Lake's channel. Ton of good stuff. Picture of Ron Paul, I believe. But if you want really anything, we all just pretty much post to the Media Speaks DOT.com, the Media Speaks DOT.com on YouTube, or go to themediaspeaks.com. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Get all of our updates and stuff. And that's it.
Awesome.